This is the Kestrel Country Podcast, where we discuss the people, places, and events all around Kestrel Country. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Kestrel Country Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Church, joined by my lovely wife and co-host, Catherine.
Hello, hello.
And we are heading into Christmas season. It is December officially.
It is. And for December, we kind of like last year are doing a series on Christmas at home. Although this year we're leaning especially into Advent. So we have a series of ladies coming on to chat Advent ideas.
Nice. Yeah. Well, besides Advent, what else is going on? Well, pretty much everything right now is kind of Advent. Things are slow in the real estate market. Everybody always asks, how's the market?
Dead.
It's slow. Yeah, it's real
Pretty
quiet.
much dead.
But, you know, I always tell people, kind of like farmers have seasonality. It's kind of nice to have some seasonality to real estate. And if it's going to be slow, you know, Christmas time, not a bad time.
Well, it's not the time people are wanting to move. So if people are moving, it's the people who are motivated to move for some specific reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is maybe to have a home to do Christmas in.
Right. So there might be those people who really do need it, but then there's also the people who might be wanting to sell, but there's no point for them to do it right now. And they're going to wait and list in the new year, which we always do push people to list earlier than you think you should list in the new year.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a side note.
So Christmas, we're doing this series, right? And first episode this week is going to be Meredith Wilson.
Yes. So it's fun. We have an age range of ladies that were on the podcast, and Meredith talks about it from the view of a grandma and going backwards in time for her beyond, when the kids were younger, I think, if I'm remembering all of this correctly. But especially how you are flexible with your kids and then grandkids celebrating the holidays.
Nice. And then what else is coming up around here for those local listeners? We've got December 7th. What's on December 7th?
It's the Light the Night Parade. They do the Christmas lights downtown, put on by the city, maybe the chamber, maybe Rick Combo. But that's fun. We've participated in the past. We are not participating this year, but it's fun to get out.
No float this year.
No float for us this year.
Bummer.
It is. The Christmas program for Logos is the next night. It's December. It's a busy season.
Yeah, so come out for that too.
And then as advertised in the Kestrel Post, there is the Winter Fair on May 9th.
Check your mailboxes.
December 9th.
Check your mailboxes for that Kestrel Post. Should be coming out. And if you want to be added to the list, go to movetoMoscow.com.
It's a free sign up.
So
you can get in your mailbox.
Good. Well, we should get into the conversation with Meredith Wilson and you.
And me.
Talking about Christmas at home.
Meredith Wilson, thank you so much for joining us. I wanted to give a little bit of background about Meredith before I let her give her own background, because we've had Dr. Wilson on here before, which has been really fun to talk about bugs and just getting excited about being outdoors, basically. Backyard naturalist and that kind of stuff. Meredith is his wife. So Meredith, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, let me see. I was going to say I'd talk about Gordon.
Oh,
but
I kind of told it.
We did grow up with lots of bugs and snakes, and there's still stuff in my freezer now. So I feel like that's very prominent. But I grew up in New Jersey, moved out to Idaho, fell in love with Idaho when I was here.
Yeah.
And I met Gordon when I was 19. He was 15.
Out in Moscow.
In Moscow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you moved out at 19.
I actually came for a visit.
Okay.
I came to my sister's wedding.
Okay.
And then after I became a Christian, I came back out here.
Okay.
And then Gordon was 19 and I was 23, almost in my decade.
Yeah.
And I just remember liking him immediately because he liked the outdoors, and I've always loved the outdoors. I've always been outside. So I grew up kind of running wild in the woods.
Yeah. So what brought you to Moscow the first time? Your sister's wedding?
My sister's wedding.
And then did you come just because of how much you enjoyed it?
No, I came for the School of Practical Christianity for my Yeah, for Jim Wilson, my father-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's tied into lots of people's
He is
stories.
tied into lots of people.
He's tied into our story. Or at least further back from my parents.
Yeah. And I have a BS in wildlife biology. So
You
I went
do?
to college in West Virginia, have a BS in wildlife biology. And so when I met Gordon, there was just this,
The love of nature.
the love of outside. Yeah.
Oh, that's really fun. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then you guys moved away from Moscow for a chunk of time.
We were in Salt Lake City. We were in Wyoming.
Wow.
And we came back for a little bit. And then we moved to Virginia. Gordon taught at Liberty for 12 years. We loved it there. He loved it because of all the critters, way more critters than here.
Okay.
And then we moved back when Brooke went to college. Our oldest daughter came to college. So
Oh, wow.
we've been here for 20 years and we love it.
Okay. So since Brooke, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mike was in Brooke's class.
That's right.
Yeah. So, well, what we're talking about today is Christmas and Advent season. And we had Mallory, which is Meredith's daughter, on. And so we're excited to kind of get another perspective of tips and tricks for Christmas through the Advent season. So tell us a little bit about how you approach Christmas.
Well, I've always loved Christmas, even as a non-Christian, loved Christmas. And when my kids were little, I thought, I need to make an Advent calendar. So Leslie Wilson, my sister-in-law, would always be making something, and I would just copy her and say, I need to do it. So I made a huge Advent calendar, which had 24 pockets, and we put candy in there and treats in there. And that was kind of my first thing that I made. Okay. And then we evolved into making ornaments, kids' ornaments. So I remember asking Connie Lucas if she has any ideas, because she's great. So we made candy canes out of beads. And the thing that I think is fun is that our kids would take everything we did and make it better.
Right.
Like they would start playing hide and go seek with the candy canes. So every Christmas the candy canes came out and they played hide and go seek.
So how did that work with the candy canes?
Yeah, each of them had the ones they made, maybe 5 or 6, and they would hide them and everybody would try to find them.
Okay, so it wasn't just on the tree. It was like they were hidden.
They were hidden in the house. So that was, and the other thing that was fun, each Christmas we always gave our kids an ornament for their tree. We wanted them to have their own. So we had a little tin that had their ornaments, and that was so special. They'd pull it out and then they'd play with their ornaments. You know, they had so much fun. So and also the purpose of that was when we left home, they could take ornaments with them.
Right. With all the memories.
Yeah. So, and then when we, as the kids got older, we started doing Advent gifts for each Sabbath. And that we do special drinks, just something to celebrate every weekend before Christmas.
Right. So would you do those on Saturday, Sunday? Did it vary?
It varied.
Okay.
Saturday was our dinner, but Sunday we would do, when everybody was home, we could do something then. But when they started leaving, we had to do things on different days. Yeah. It really is a lot of flexibility. And then as we had grandkids, we changed the whole focus to them.
Okay.
So that's been really fun.
Yeah.
Actually, this year, right after Christmas, I went to, it was a thrift store, and I found all these hand-painted, beautiful Christmas ornaments. And so I hope they're not listening. But
I know. Well, we're not going to drop it until later.
No, the kids aren't going to listen anyway. Anyway, they're beautiful. And so I have all of my Advent gifts already. Well, that's one part.
And you snagged those last year.
I snagged those last January.
Yeah, so you were ready.
Yeah, so I felt really prepared this year. So we do, similar things. We give everybody they all come over for Sabbath dinner. They all have a present on their plate. They're all super excited. And so we let them open those. And, I think that's just probably about, we bake cookies, all the kind of the typical stuff.
But you keep your eyes out basically all year long then.
Yeah.
You're thinking ahead.
Thinking of what? Yeah, because I like to give them a book. I like to give them a Christmas ornament, some kind of fun toy, depending on their age and what they like.
Right.
And it's just, been amazing, especially now that the Newmans are back. So we have all our grandkids really close.
And what's the age range on your grandkids?
Let's see. Dagger turns 2 months today. So 2 months to 13.
Okay. So you've got a big range on it. Yeah. And how have you adjusted for, the gifts over that time in terms of, 13. So in terms of a toy, what's your other tips on, switching that? Do you just do more books or do you lean into?
Well, Cadman loves books. So I would do books for him. He would love that.
Yeah.
But kind of yo-yos. I'll look around or talk to some of my friends who they have something special. Yeah. The little kids are really easy, but it is a little tricky when they get a little older.
Yeah.
It might be some craft, like a Christmas ornament they can make at home.
Fun. Yeah.
Sometimes Michael's has stuff. They have those bird boxes you can paint, just something that they'll enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really fun. What about your food traditions?
Okay, food. I feel like that's also been so fun and so morphed because of my daughter-in-law and my sons-in-law and what everybody likes.
Okay.
So years ago, when Brooke was just a child, somebody had us over for clam chowder on Christmas Eve.
Oh,
and I was
fun.
like, oh, we're going to do this. So we do clam chowder. We started doing clam chowder Christmas Eve.
That's really fun.
And then that morphed into last year. Heather wanted to make everything from scratch.
Oh, okay.
She didn't want to do like the canned cream of mushroom and the Old Bay seasoning.
Elevate it.
She took it to a new level, and it's shrimp bisque, and it was so much better.
Yeah.
I actually don't even like clam chowder that much or crab soup.
It's just been the tradition.
It's just the tradition.
Yeah.
And when we did crab, that was really fun because it would be Caleb, Dane, and Gordon getting fresh crab and cooking it and then busting it all up.
And pulling all that.
And pulling all that.
It's a labor of love.
It was a labor. But they all really enjoyed doing it together.
Yeah.
Not Gordon as much as the Dane and Caleb.
Yeah.
They really got into it.
That's really fun.
So that was, and then we add to that, Heather worked at some restaurant in town. Forget the name. Anyway, avocado wraps.
Oh,
we'll
I
do
remember
smokies.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else that anybody likes.
Yeah.
Dana and Chantel are with us. They go to the Courtneys that day.
And this is Christmas or Christmas
This is
Eve?
Christmas Eve.
This is Christmas
so we
Eve.
usually go to church.
Yeah.
Go
So it's easy stuff that could be prepped. Well,
ahead.
not the bisque is not necessarily easy.
but that's Heather, and she loves it.
Yeah.
So she gets to do it.
So she gets to do that. But it's
Yeah.
special and
Yeah.
heavy richness that you
Yes.
don't want to be doing on a normal
No,
basis.
normal day. Yeah, it's just part of it. And then Christmas morning, we've had times where everybody's spending the night. Even Dana Chantel spent the night the last few years. Heather and Chase have been close enough. Mallory lives down the road. So I don't know. That things just change.
Yeah.
And then breakfast, we've sausage brunch bread.
Ooh, wait,
has
so
been-
explain what sausage brunch bread is.
It's actually really easy.
Okay.
You take crescent rolls, Pillsbury crescent rolls, you roll them out. You make a sausage mixture down the middle that has some cream cheese and garlic and peppers and onion. And then you crisscross over the top and you bake it. And it's fantastic. Like Dane wants 3 of those.
I'm sure you probably had to increase your numbers as you do that.
Yeah. And so that's a really good one. Raspberry coffee cake, which is something that was in Leslie Wilson's cook. Yeah, that's really good.
Mm-hmm.
But now Heather's at quiche, Mallory cinnamon rolls, or maybe that's Chantel.
Yeah.
It's
increased.
It's just increased. And then we usually use our champagne glasses, make it really fun. Just really festive, pretty. It's usually set in the morning. And
do you do that early, or does it become like a brunch part, with the presents on Christmas?
We do
How you
our
structure?
stockings first.
Okay.
Yeah, in our PJs, if
Yep.
you can.
Yeah.
And then we all get ready, which drives the kids nuts. It
Right.
did me when I was a child. My parents were getting ready. I was like, get ready.
How long? And does the kitchen have to be cleaned up?
I know, Mom. And now I'm that person. Anyway, so then we get ready. We do that.
Yeah.
It's pretty much prepped. Go ahead. I can just shove it in.
So can you make that crescent thing the night before, or is it so fast that you can just put it together the morning of?
It's pretty fast. I would make the filling the night before.
Okay.
I would do that. And and the raspberry coffee cake filling the night before.
And it's just assemble.
Yeah, just assemble, make it simple.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's breakfast. And then we start presents but we usually do a prime rib. And we used to do it at 2 and it was just too soon. So now we just made it 5.
Which is great because then your day's extended.
It's extended. And Chase, this is Heather's husband, he's added a pork appetizer because he's Italian and likes to add things. So it's just fun when people bring their things.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
And culturally too. Mallory and I were talking a little bit about that. Your family culture, if it's, or your heritage rather, so if you've got German or Swedish or there's elements, and if he's Italian, he's pulling in, so you're merging families and you get these fun ideas from other people.
You guys have that? Is it
Santa Lucia Day?
Santa Lucia Day.
Because of the Swedish background. And so that's been a fun one because it's the saffron buns.
Right.
Which are I love them. They're really good. And it's so funny because with the saffron in there, they bake for like 5 minutes. Literally so fast. And because the saffron apparently can dry it out.
Really?
And so if you put too much in, you're in danger of kind of making them rock hard. And they just, you don't want to overbake them at all.
Okay.
Because then they're so soft. And anyways, I do love those.
Yeah.
But it's fun with some of these traditions. But Carolyn being, not really a Brit. It's always kind of this explanation of my sister being married to an Irishman who lived in England.
Right.
But she does roasty potatoes. And I don't know if she makes
potatoes are so good.
They are so good.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she'll make some at Christmas, but it's a bigger ordeal to make those. And so when she does make those, it's a special occasion kind of item. But it's fun to have these.
Yeah, Brooke does that. Mallory actually requested Brooke to make the chuff. She calls them chuff potatoes.
Okay.
Because you chuff them.
Yeah, you shake them.
Yes.
to get this fluffy exterior.
Which she told me, russet potatoes actually work better.
Oh,
that
really?
Brooke just said she did it for Mallory's birthday, and the russet potatoes chuff better. They get more of that crispy on the outside.
Yeah, that light man, those are good.
Yeah.
Those are so chuff potatoes, and Carolyn calls them roasties.
Yeah, roasty potatoes. Well, probably Mark called them roasty potatoes.
Probably.
Yeah. He's from Ireland.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That might be the Irish versus the British.
But Brooke has brought stuff too. She has, they do the stir up Sunday.
What is that?
Where you, I think it's near Thanksgiving, you stir up your cake.
So literally
you stir it up and you put it on your fridge, on the top of your fridge till Christmas. And I think that's the one that you boil in water and you pour like brandy butter and you light it on fire. So
it's big.
Yeah. So Daniel will light that on fire and that's amazing.
Oh, and the kids probably just go crazy about that.
Yeah. No, it's really, I forgot about that. Yeah. They've added a whole new, and sausage rolls. That's a big
That's a British thing?
That's a British thing. So Brooke brought that last Christmas, homemade sausage rolls.
Is that a breakfast item or a appetizer?
It's really more of a, you could eat it for lunch and dinner. Really.
Okay.
Yeah. They just, similar to the sausage brunch bread, but not exactly the same. Yeah.
So what would your advice be? So for people, there's so many traditions and there's so many fun activities that you can do.
Yeah.
But from, people just getting married, so newlyweds jumping in on Christmas.
Yeah.
What are your pieces of advice in terms of starting your own traditions and leaning into your, new families and all of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Whatever you and your husband talk to each other, do you have an opinion? The clam chowder, Gordon was like, I love this, and I don't, but I thought, well, he does.
Yeah.
So that's great. And I'd probably just talk about what you like and what you like to do and just try to add slowly. Don't add too fast. Don't add too many things. It's a lot of cleanup. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. Just let it organically.
Grow. Maybe use paper plates. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. In years past, we used to invite people to our Christmas Eve dinner because it was just us, 6 people. So we'd invite a couple people, and that was always fun.
Yeah.
So I would just start slowly and add little things at a time. Mm-hmm. And even the dollar store on Advent gifts, so easy. Mm-hmm. The little kids love stuff there.
They do.
Especially the glow sticks.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, yes. Yep. For sure. Well, I think those glow sticks can last a long time in terms of ages.
Bungee cords, those are great.
Yes, no? That's a good idea. That is a good idea. I know any of those kind of gear pieces the boys will glom onto at any age. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yo-yos. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, just to ease into it and make it fun. Don't make it hard. Yeah. Don't
put this burden.
Don't let it be a burden. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it should be fun. Yeah.
What do you do for your decorations?
Oh, man. Well, we go out in the Idaho forest and get a Christmas tree for less than $5.
Have you done that for years?
We have always done that. Okay. And we have a ceiling, so we get a 15-foot tree.
Fun.
I don't know how many more years we'll be able to do this, but we've made it so far.
Yeah.
But that's probably our favorite thing. Gordon loves the grand fir smells the best. It has the most fragrant. So we love that. And
do you find those in the woods?
Yes.
You do?
You do,
wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. They're all over here. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can find those.
That's really fun.
So we do that usually the first weekend of Advent, Saturday, Sunday. And then we'll do something special drink. Sometimes we do mulled wine that night because that's really fun. Mm-hmm. And then I usually try to get some stuff to wrap around, like at Costco, get a wreath and get the greenery to wrap around our staircase. I love.
You do fresh on all of that.
I try to. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would love to get a big star to put in our big window.
Oh,
I just
fun.
But haven't done that yet.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So lights outside the front of the house. We do that. And I try to, and those almost stay up to February because I love the lights.
Well, especially with our dark winters.
Yeah. We need the light.
We need the light.
Yeah.
I know. It's really fun. I have, we've got cafe lights up that we leave up year round.
Yeah.
Well, partly because it adds light and when you're doing an exterior event for a party in the summer. But I've had them on timers. And so that's really fun.
Oh, that's
now
a good
it messes
idea.
up when it gets a power outage. But
yeah.
but it's really fun because then if you have them set to come on for an hour in the morning when it's really dark or when they're, we start getting dark really early. So the lights are on when you come home. That's fun.
Idea.
It's really fun.
I need the timer.
The timers are great. And you just, they plug into the outlet.
They do,
it's easy. And once it's a little hard to figure out some of the little press in, press out things.
Yeah.
But after a little bit of adjustment, you can kind of just let them go. And that's been fun. I've definitely loved that.
Yeah, and we try to have lots of cocoa on hand because the kids come sledding at our house.
Well, it's a great sledding spot.
Yeah. Trying to think what else. Yeah.
What about your table decorations? Has that been something that you've evolved over the years, or what do you do on your table settings?
I've never been great at it, but I just use what I have, you know. And I always get so excited to see table runners and napkins. Like I want new Christmas everything this year. So
I think it's easy to do it that way too, because then you're not investing in tons and tons of tablecloths. The runners are a fun way to mix it up.
And we have some Christmas plates that I got years ago. So we try to use those Christmas mugs. Just decorate as much as we can. I have a bunch of nutcrackers that I put on my fireplace. Yeah. I love nutcrackers.
So do you collect new ones every year, like
no,
ornaments? Or?
I think I almost have enough. Although if somebody gave me one, I would love it.
Okay.
And I have a big, stuff that's very Christmassy and just to make the house and change my pillows to red and
to make it just so cheerful.
So I'm probably not the best at the Christmas decorations.
Well, but I don't think it has to be overboard, you know, because it doesn't take much to change that feel of feeling very Christmassy. I think that's helpful, you know, because I think it is easy to be overwhelmed by we do
How
this
do I
and
do
this.
this?
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't have to be
a little bit.
That add-on each time. What's your favorite Christmas storybook? Do you do the storybooks for kids?
I do not. I do. I really like, what is it called? It's a Swedish story, actually. Oh, I cannot remember the name.
I sprung it. I didn't prepare you. It just hit me.
No, I should have looked.
I didn't think about it.
But it's about I wish the name would come back. It's about a family. Okay. And they start, like they're in a Swedish sauna. So there's a big family, but the oldest is away. And they hope he's going to come back for Christmas because he's the one who did the best presents.
Oh.
And so he does show up like on Christmas Day, but the younger brother knows that his brother's probably not going to be there. So he decides he's going to do something for everybody. Oh. So he's secretly doing stuff. And then the brother does come home.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Oh, that's really fun.
Oh, man.
I know. Well, if you think of it, I'll add it to the
I'll add
it to the show notes so that it's in there.
That's a good one. And also, what is it? The best Christmas pageant ever is hilarious.
It's so funny and so sweet. I
love that story.
I love that story too. And it's an easy, quick read. Yeah. There's some fantastic picture books too. I'm not thinking of all of them off the top. Yeah. For whatever reason, the Snow Globe Family is stuck in my brain. I think that was a newer one that we were given.
Oh, fun.
I know. So it is fun to pull out the stack of Christmas books and at Christmas. And that's an idea we don't do, but I've heard from others. I think my sister-in-law does this where she wraps like the old books, the Christmas books, but then they can open a new one every day. So 24 books wrapped up, you know. But then it's not like you're buying 24 new ones every year. It's just
you're opening it that's a great idea.
Pretty sure that's how she does it. I think it's Jenny, but
I did just remember something. I always had ornaments the kids could play with on the table.
Oh, fun.
Like that was really fun. Like I had it was a little silver tray and it was like little tiny skaters and a church that you could open up. And so I didn't care, a little thing you could wind up music. So I had that on the table. The kids could just rummage through any of that. And of course they've been broken, but it's fine.
But it was made for that.
But it was so nice because I remember Marisol, Heather's daughter, would come over all the time. And Heather loved it to have those things that they could
I think that's a really fun idea because there are a lot where you're like, oh, this is up high. It's a no touch, you know, or whatever. But that's a super
just
fun.
A basket of stuff and stuffed animals that are Christmas animals. We always had Christmas bears that the kids pulled out every year. Yeah. And now Mallory's doing that with her kids. Yeah.
That's so fun. I think that's really fun.
Yeah. Christmas jammies.
Yes,
we did
Christmas
that too.
Jammies. Yeah.
I used to make them.
Oh, did you?
Years ago for everybody.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I would make nightgowns and then something for Dane.
But did you start that at all with the grands?
I did not. Okay. I think because Mallory really wanted to pick out her own. She wanted to do it.
Well, she's such a seamstress.
Yeah. So she just took that over. And Brooke was in England, you know? So,
no. That took care of that. Well, we should probably wind up here pretty quick. But are there any other last minute thoughts on your big pieces of advice?
No, not that I can think of. Just have fun. And it's all about Jesus.
It is. Yeah. The focus really is on that. So if you're adding all of these extra things on and grumpy attitudes.
Yeah, no grumpy attitudes.
No grumpy attitudes. Not worth it.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much.
Thanks for coming on. Yeah. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you next week.